here today because we have a very special guest author with us. Many of you may recognize Ms. Franco. She taught here at Bolton Center School. She was our world language teacher for 24 years. And she retired at the end of the school year last year and has been working on a book in her spare time. And she is here to share that with you today and talk about her experience writing the book, how she went about finding an illustrator for her book, and there are a lot of really special connections with her book and with Bolton Center School. So enjoy.
Thank you, Mrs. Herrick, for the nice introduction. Oh my goodness, all these familiar faces. First of all, I want you to know I'm so thrilled to be with all of you because you were in my class last year, so I especially wanted to see all of you. And I told you that I would come back, right? I told you I'd finish my book and I would come back to see you. So this is a very special day for me and to see all of my special students. And I hope that you're doing well and I hope you're having a good year. I want you to know that all the names are coming back and connecting with all the faces.
Remember my name?
Well, I don't know, but you can tell me after. So anyway, when I'm at the high school where I am now, sometimes if I see someone that I know here, I will mention them. So it goes both ways. Yeah, so I'm just at the high school for a couple months because, as you know, in a lot of places it's hard to find a language teacher. Maybe you should all study French and Spanish forever. You never know what it'll do for you, right? Okay, in any case, I'm here to talk about Chi-Chi and the Dancing Chihuahua. So you knew about this book because we talked about it during class from time to time, and you know, maybe too much from time to time. But anyway, I remember I used to tell Chi-Chi stories in French and Spanish, and see if you could all understand what I was saying, right? Okay, so unfortunately, Chi-Chi was born in 1999, and she went to doggy heaven in 2017. So the classes since then never had the pleasure of meeting her. But Mrs. Smith, you all know Mrs. Smith? Yeah. Yes, in my very early years, she was in my class. And so I said to her, I said, Mrs. Smith, do you remember Chi-Chi? And what do you think she said?
Yeah.
Of course. Everyone might remember Chi-Chi long after me. So anyway, let me tell you a bit about Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is a long-haired Chihuahua, which means she has obviously long hair, or sometimes she's referred to as long coat. So would my Chihuahua look like this one? No, this is a Taco Bell one, right? And she doesn't have the hair, so she doesn't look like that. And then I used to take a sombrero. This is actually from Mexico. I had a smaller one. I don't know, maybe I left it at school. I don't know, but I would put the little sombrero on her head, and then she would do her dancing for the class. So that's a bit about Chi-Chi. So now I want to tell you how she ended up coming to Bolton Center School. So many years ago, under a different principal, not like wonderful Mr. Gerard here. Anyway, I asked him, because I was speaking Spanish at the time, would it be nice if I could bring Chi-Chi to school? Because she is a Mexican Chihuahua. What do they speak in Mexico, everybody? Spanish.
French.
So, no, not French. So Spanish. So he kindly agreed, and so every year she would come to school. I mean, obviously the last couple of years when she was older, it was too much to ask her to dance and do all those things. So, but she did come every year for quite a number of years. And of course, the students always loved her. So I would put the little sombrero on her head. I would take her front paws, and she'd be on her hind legs, and we would do the cha-cha together. Now, I don't want you to think that we were both such good dancers, we'd just cha-cha forever. It was a short little dance, and then we would sit down and discuss her in French and Spanish. I would ask the student questions, and sometimes I'd ask them to ask questions in French or Spanish, because that was good practice. And do you think she was well behaved in class?
Yes.
Yes, she was, because let me tell you, when she wasn't performing, she would sit on the table or a desk, and she would not bark. She wouldn't make any noises. She just sat there as like a very good student, like some of you are, perhaps, and just listened. So that was good. She used to have a little break at lunchtime. We'd go out and take a walk. So, you know, I was very grateful to her, and I think that the students really enjoyed her. So then, unfortunately, after she died, at some point, I can't remember exactly when, I said to myself, I think Chi-Chi should have a book. So So at some point I just started writing, but you know about writing because you probably have to write reports and things right from time to time. So there were many versions, okay? So I just started writing things that happened, things that she did. And there were many variations, okay? And I had to redo and redo and redo. And then there was COVID, remember that? So a lot of publishing companies were not accepting manuscripts. And I'm not well known anyway. It's not that I thought a publishing company would take me on. So what I did, I self-published. So meaning that I pay for it to be published, but I do have a book. And so I had an author manager that I worked with all the time from the beginning. It took about 6 months. And I want you to know I was getting very worried. You know why? I was afraid it wasn't going to be ready in time so I could see my students here, and I didn't want everyone to be at the high school without having a chance to see you. So yes, about 6 months later I had the book, but again, there were many writings that I had to do. I have to tell you about the illustrator. Do you all remember Mrs. Novak?
No.
Okay, well, and it goes back some time. Anyway, she is an artist, and her daughter is an artist. So her daughter did the illustrations for me. And I want you to know I'm very grateful because first of all, I know her mom and I know her. She's very good. When you see the illustrations, you'll realize how much it makes a book, especially a children's book should have really nice pictures, okay? So that's how it was published. Again, it took a long time and many writings and rewritings, but in the end, you know, I think it was worth it because Chi-Chi will be around forever, right? And I used to tell Mr. Lambert is in my room now, 33, I told him that there should be a plaque to Chi-Chi in that classroom. It's not going to happen. But anyway. So now, okay, so that's some background. So now I would like to read the story to you. Then after that, you can ask me any questions, and we'll talk a little more about everything. Okay? All right. Are you going to be? Right, okay. So, this book is dedicated to Chi-Chi and all of you, all my students at Bolton Center School, so you're all important. And so I mentioned already when she was born and when she died, so she's going to tell the story. It's in her voice. Does anyone know what it means if I say it's in Chi-Chi's voice? Right, she's writing it. She's telling the story. I wrote the book, obviously, but she's telling the story. So I'm sure you do that for some of your writings too, right? Okay. All right, so off we go. Chi-Chi's going to tell the story. So there's Chi-Chi. Is that the cutest chihuahua you've ever seen?
Yes.
All right. She's along here. Okay. So, hello friends. Do you believe that a dog can love school? Do you believe that a dog can teach you lessons? Well, it's true. Have fun and read my amazing story. And this part I told you, but I'll read it anyway. My name is Chi-Chi. I'm a Mexican Chihuahua, and I bet you can guess where I come from. I am not a regular Chihuahua like the one at Taco Bell. I have long hair, which makes me a bit different. Nothing wrong with being different, right? As I read this, you're going to see that Chi-Chi's trying to teach you some lessons, and see if you can figure out what they are, and at the end we'll discuss the list of lessons, okay? There must not be too many like me because when my mom and I go walking, people always ask what kind of dog I am and seem surprised to know that I am a Chihuahua. They always say how cute I am, which makes me feel happy. I love getting compliments just like you. Do you try to compliment your friends and make them happy? I hope so. I live in Connecticut with my mom. I used to live in London, so when Chi-Chi arrived, so she's saying, when I first arrived home, there was a cat from London. Yes, I brought the cat with me from London. Sorry, sometimes my long vision is not good. I used to chase that poor cat everywhere, and he never had any peace. Sometimes he would fly into the closet to escape me. After all the chaos, Fluffy moved in with another family. I know it's my fault, and perhaps I should have been more considerate. We should try to be kind to animals as we would like to be treated, right? Yeah. And so there is the cat flying into the closet, and literally I would see sometimes that cat would go from one end flying to the other. That's how much she did not like Chi-Chi. But Chi-Chi was a kind dog, it's just the match was not good. All right, so there's my classroom. Who do you see in the classroom, everybody? There she is. Paw up instead of her hand. You see some of the Spanish, right? And to the left, there's some French. So my mom is a French and Spanish teacher, and she takes me to school. All the students seem happier to see me than her. She tells them Chi-Chi stories, and they want to know when I will visit again. They all reach out and try to touch me. I must say it's nice to be popular. And she was popular. Everybody wanted to pet her. Everybody wanted to see her. I like Bolton Center School. The Spanish room is nicely decorated, and the kids are also friendly. I wonder if you like school as much as I do. I wouldn't mind trading places with one of you and coming to school every day. I only stay in my mom's room because I'm not allowed to wander around the school. I hope you all say you love coming every day.
Yay!
All right. Okay. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, so there's Chi-Chi dancing. Of course, I told you I would take her front paws, but that's her just kind of dancing on her own. Would you believe that she makes me dance the cha-cha with a sombrero on my head, which is not that easy. I can feel my eyes popping out of my head. She takes my front paws and makes me dance on my hind legs. That's a lot to ask of a little dog, but I try to keep the students happy, which she did. In addition to dancing, I have a habit of wiggling my ears when my mom asks me certain questions. I am not sure why I had that reaction, but the students loved it and couldn't stop laughing. It often happens during our class discussions and only adds to my popularity. I guess I'm a rather unusual dog. If you ask me now what those questions were to make her ears move, I'm not sure I remember, but I know that she did used to do it. Not all the time, but it really was kind of cute. Okay, there's Chi-Chi doing her homework. After my dance, there are discussions in French and Spanish. I am impressed with the students' progress. My mom is positive with her students and helps build their confidence. That is so important for success in life. At the same time, students are aware that there are expectations and rules to follow. She tries to help build their character. See how important your teachers are, everybody? I am sure you know how important education is. It can change your life for the better. It is important to spend time studying and doing homework, whether we like it or not. So one day you'll appreciate that and you'll know that. I know how much education did for me. All right, these are 2 pages I love. That's Chi-Chi getting her nails done. I want you to know, I took her to a nail salon. I got my nails done, but she didn't. But someone, yes, and one of the teachers, actually, I think it was, one of the teachers said maybe I should have her getting her nails done. I thought that was such a good suggestion, so there she is. All right, however, this is what happened. This shows that it's important to learn a language. So first of all, I take her to the nail salon, and there's a lady in Spanish saying, "Es como una rata." Anyone want to guess what that means?
It looks like a rat.
Well, it looks like a rat. Can you imagine anyone saying that about my Chi-Chi? Oh. All right, so here we go. I believe that learning a language is a useful skill. You never know when it will come in handy. One day my mom took me to a nail salon so that she could get her nails done. I'm not sure why she took me along. As we walked in, we heard one of the customers say that I looked like a rat. They were speaking Spanish, thinking we would not understand. At first, my mom was upset that they made fun of me. Then she shocked them by speaking Spanish, telling them that I was a beautiful dog. The lady never said another word. Wasn't that good? We fooled them, right? We understood.
Yeah, come on.
All right, so on we go. So after school, we walk every day, or we play in the backyard. When we walk, the big dogs sometimes bully me. They bark like mad and run after me. I am afraid. Let me tell you what happened to me one day. We were walking along and a huge German Shepherd tried to get me. When he jumped at my mom's side, and he really was after my legs, okay, it doesn't show it there, but he was really jumping on me. So when he jumped at my mom's side to reach me, she yanked me in the air with my harness, so it was too high for the dog to catch me. But he didn't give up until one of the neighbors came out to help. I don't want that to happen again. Dogs don't like being bullied, especially when dogs are bigger or stronger than we are. I'm sure you can imagine how I felt. We all know about that. It's not a good thing, right? And I will tell you, the thing that was particularly sad, this German Shepherd was a guide dog for a blind girl. And you know, if you have a guide dog, you can't worry about whether your dog is going to escape. So unfortunately, that girl had to find another dog. I mean, nothing happened to that one, I'm sure. But they probably couldn't trust her again, maybe to run away and just leave the girl on her own. So it was really sad all around. But we survived. So here's Chi-Chi being naughty. I'm an obedient dog, but occasionally I mess up when left alone. One night my mom came home late and I heard a loud, "Oh no!" I knew I was in big trouble. She has a doll collection and I ate the arms and hands of one of her dolls out of frustration. Well, it was almost the end of me. I don't know when she had been so mad at me. I ran with my tail between my legs as fast as I could and hid from her. I thought I learned my lesson, but one time temptation struck again, and I ate the plastic shoes off another doll. I guess the moral of the story is that you must exert self-control. As you would expect, I was in big trouble again. So there's the shoe, and there's the doll without a shoe. Okay? So that's Poupette. So life was going smoothly until one day, guess what came into our house? It was a white, beautiful ball of fur, a Pomeranian puppy. She was my new sister. She has a French name, Poupette, which means little doll. My name is Chi-Chi, a Spanish name. So let me tell you about Poupettes. When I went to France, they sell these ceramic dolls, and they're called Poupettes. So when I got Poupette, I said, she's so cute like a little doll. I thought Poupette was a good name for her. And actually, poor Poupette, in her later years, was quite ill. She had heart disease, so I had to take her to a vet in North Haven. And would you believe that vet spoke French? And he knew right away. He said, "Oh, I like that name, Poupette, because my wife calls our daughter Poupette." It's kind of an endearing little name. So that's the story of the name. If my mom thought I was difficult, Poupette was a nightmare. She was always jumping like a circus animal and chewed on everything in sight because of her new teeth. She was in trouble from time, to say the least. Okay, there they are. I think it's... Okay, now they're both naughty. Here we go. One day, I must admit, we were both naughty. We discovered that there was a hole under the fence and decided to go on a walking spree unbeknownst to our mom, who was working in the house. So off we went down the street until someone found us and brought us back home. The gentleman said to my mom, "Aren't these your dogs?" Most people in town knew us because my mom talked about us at school, and that's true. Well, I don't know how much I did then, but there was a time I was always telling little Chi-Chi and Poupette stories in French and Spanish, whatever. So I think most people knew about those two dogs. It could have been one of your parents that brought them home, for all I know. Anyway, she said yes. She was shocked that we ran off without her knowledge. However, she was so grateful that we were safe that she did not punish us. Phew. That was a close call, but we learned our lesson. We could have been run over or kidnapped. You do know that from time to time dogs do get kidnapped, right? Who's the famous singer? Gaga. No, Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga, not Gaga. Oh my goodness. Lady Gaga, she had French dogs. She had French bulldogs. I think she had 2 of them. They got kidnapped, but then she got them back. So that could have happened to me. So every time I thought the fact that they could have been run over or taken, I would, it makes me scared. Or it made me scared. Okay. Yeah, all right, that's it. All right, so overall, we are a happy family. I love Poupette, and we spend a lot of time together. With her around, I never feel lonely. We exercise every day, take baths, and get groomed. We go for regular checkups and shots just like you. With COVID, we are especially careful, right? We all remember those COVID days, don't we?
Oh, they're terrible.
Yes. All right, there they are taking their little bath. I remember one time I became sick and had to go to a special hospital. I miss my mom so much. Fortunately, she came to visit me every day. The vet knew I needed to be home, so she released me. My mom had to give me pills by mouth, and I screamed loudly. But by being good and taking my pills, I got better. And when I say scream, I promise you she screamed. It was a wonder the neighbors didn't call the police and saying, what is happening to that poor dog next door? But she got better. She didn't like swallowing them, but she got better, and that's the important thing, right? And the other thing is, I think the vet was, first of all, a very good vet. It wasn't the regular vet, she had to go to a special hospital. And I think that the vet knew how important it was for Chi-Chi to be home. So she did release her. We gave her her pills, and then she came home and she did get better. So sometimes it's good to be at home with family, right? Okay. So you see, life presents the same challenges for me as it does for you. There are good times and bad, but we must do our best and be kind to others. Trying your best is important for your future. Remember all the lessons that I taught you in this story and be good. If you should forget, there is a list of lessons at the end of the book. Adios. Now, before we look at the lessons, I want to see what lessons you pick up that she was trying to teach.
Being different and bullying.
Yeah, no bullying, right?
Try not to be too bad. Try listening to people.
Right?
Treat others the way you want to.
Yeah, it's especially important, right? Wait a minute, let me, go ahead.
Respect for other people's boundaries.
Yes, absolutely. What else? Sophia, how's the hair salon? I bet she's happy.
Yeah, she likes her hair.
I'm sure. Should I be the next customer? Who else? Go ahead.
Don't run away from your kidnap.
Good point.
Yeah, don't run away.
Nobody wants to lose anybody.
Very dark.
Wait a minute, let me just, anybody else? Sam, there's Sam. How's Sam? All the names are coming back and the faces. Oh, there's, wait a minute. Jeremiah. Yes. My student that worked so hard, I was so impressed by him. Yeah, Senor, yes. Senor Garcia.
My name is Joe.
All right, let me hear a little more about, yes.
What's my name?
Yes, no, I was just thinking about that. Oh, la la. Reagan.
Yes.
My name is Joe. I'm new
I
this
had a
year.
great time.
Yes. Pardon? Okay, wait a minute.
Don't forget to eat your pills.
Good one.
Even though we don't want to do anything, we stop and do it.
That's right. Any other lessons?
Pay attention in class.
Yep. Yeah, we figured the teacher would pay attention to her work. Yes. Right? Yes, she's learned a lot of lessons, hasn't she? Where's your sister? Ah, there you are. Yes. All right. Oh, no, please don't ask.
Remember they switched to English at the same time?
I bet. Yes, that's right. Yes. Absolutely right. Okay, so I think if there are no more lessons you want to tell me, we're going to look at her list of lessons now, okay? All right, lessons from Chi-Chi the Chihuahua. Be yourself, it's okay to be different. Treat other people and animals as you wish to be treated. We've talked about that. Have confidence and believe in yourself. Very important. Exert self-control. Always do your best. That will lead to success. When we come across a bark, raise your hand if you recognize it. Be kind and honest. Have courage and be brave. Respect self and others. Act responsibly. Keep safe. Take care of your health. Be positive with your friends and make them happy with compliments. Study hard and do your homework. And I want to talk about the last one. Never give up. Okay? When I was little, this was a while ago, my grandmother said to me, never give up. And I want you to know that was one of the best lessons ever, because we all face hard times, right? Even when I was writing this book, it was taking 6 months, and I said, do I want to keep up with this, whatever. But I stuck it out, I didn't give up. and now I have my book. So that pertains to everything, right? Never give up, do your best. Good, I'm glad we're Does anyone have questions about writing a book, about publishing, anything like that? Okay, wait a minute.
7th grade.
We need to make a decision here. Either you'll go back to your room or you'll listen to your friends because some of the questions might be important to you. So please be respectful. We just talked about that 2 seconds ago, right? And I remember you all so well, and I know you are. Yes.
So what I said was, even though you want to kind of give up, is it really important to keep following your dreams?
Absolutely. That's how great things in life happen. Anything else about publishing, writing, whatever? And also, you know when you write, and you've been writing, right? You rewrite and rewrite till it gets better, right? You don't give up on that too. Keep doing better. I wouldn't want to tell you how many versions of this book I had over the months. Too many. I lost track, honestly. I couldn't tell you. Yes.
Did I have Chica in Spanish? Yes.
No. I should all tell you this. So when I
Tell me
yeah,
a story.
When I got to the high school, let me tell you this story quickly. Because I had my old habits of all my wonderful days with you. What do you think I said at high school?
No cheese. No
No, and what do you think happened?
cheese.
That it's allowed at the high school, so
Did they get
I...
much detention?
No, it's allowed. It's allowed.
Where so?
Miss Fisher. Should we tell Ben how the story? It's not. It's not.
Oh, yes.
And it was actually
Yes.
Do you remember me from last year?
No.
Stop! You weren't even here last year.
Right there.
From last year?
Alice, you weren't even here. You were here for lunch.
Oh, you just moved. Okay, I got the word.
About that one.
Yes. No. Someone asked that I bring Pipette to school. I would never bring Pipette to school. She would have never sat still for 3 seconds. She would have been flying around the room, and that would have been the end of me. And besides, I couldn't really justify it. To me, in my mind, Chihuahua, Mexican Chihuahua, Spanish was all related because they speak Spanish in Mexico. Yes, Mrs. Smith.
Is there anything in this final copy of your book that you wish wasn't there, or apart from when you were drafting that you wish wasn't here and it didn't make it, or are you
No,
feeling
because
well?
I was able to be flexible because in the end, even though the self-publisher took forever, I could always make changes and I could add things. So I was able to add what I wanted because some of the more recent ones with the dog going under the fence, and I think there was one other I added after. And then she made the illustrations because Caroline Novak was very flexible too, so that worked out. Yes, because I would have been upset if there was something that I wish that had been in there.
Yeah.
Question.
Yes.
How many headbands do you have? How many headbands do you have? Yeah, you got a lot. This kid.
How many matching outfits?
I want you to know I have tons of headbands. Some things never change.
How many matching outfits do you have?
My friends there, isn't it interesting the things they ask my headbands were? I didn't realize it was so important. Oh la la. Oh la la.
What about earrings?
There's gotta be a lot of those.
Of course I remember. Wait a minute. Go ahead, sweetheart. Well, she just asked, will I make another book? So,
Yes.
first of all, did I tell you about the one in London that failed? Oh, okay. So I might as well tell you the whole trajectory. So when I was in London, a lot of people suggested that I write a book because it was kind of an unusual thing I was doing. So I agreed, and I knew at the time I couldn't write. So I hired a ghostwriter. Does anyone know what a ghostwriter is?
We're sure that basically like give them the plot line, no right with.
Right, I tell the story and she wrote it. And then I had an agent. Unfortunately, they didn't agree. One wanted it a picture book, the other one, anyway, that didn't work. And then I probably wouldn't have found a publisher. I'm not well known, so we just had to let that book go. So I learned from that it wouldn't have been easy for someone to publish my book just because I was writing a book. I didn't have a reputation. So then there was COVID. A lot of companies weren't taking manuscripts. So at some point I said I really have to do self-publishing. And a friend of mine in London had just self-published a book and it worked really well. So I talked to the publisher in London and he gave me some links here of self-publishers to contact. I contacted different ones and then I went with Gatekeeper Press and they worked out very well. And so so self-publishing. Would I like to write another one? I'd like to write about the pet, but I don't know if I have enough information that comes to my head. I have a title but nothing to write about. Girl in the pink coat, but I wanted to. She has a pink coat. Pardon? I could write about all of you, yes.
Write about us. Write about
The dancing.
Write about the flower.
All right, so that's that. Yes.
Book question.
I can't remember your name, honestly. What is it? What is your name? Brian. Pardon? Brian? Do you remember me? Okay, all right, Brian. All right, anything else about the book? Your teachers want you to know about writing and learning. Anything else? But what I think you should do, if you have an idea, do you know, I think it was the 4th grade. Would you believe if you were the 4th graders? I think it was 4th. Or was it 6th? Anyway, a few of them are writing a book now. So, just think if you get an idea, you should run with it because you never know. Right?
How old is Richie?
When she died?
Yeah.
Almost 18.
It's 17.
What happens to GT at the end of the book?
Should we sit in front of her?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, yes. It's funny, I can remember some of you where you sat in my class, which is kind of interesting. All right, anything else about books?
Did you keep the dolls that Cheetah?
No, I don't have those anymore. I have some other ones, but not those.
What are you going to keep doing for the rest of your life?
Well, sweetheart, I have to tell you, I don't know about that. Maybe I'll write some more. I don't know if I'll want to sub some more in the future. I will travel because I love travel. And I don't know, I'll see about writing. I may do something totally different. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a big question.
You could learn another language.
I could. Well, I do know, I understand some Italian.
Yeah, you could.
All right, any other serious question? As Mrs. J said, and how are you, Senora? So nice to see you. Yes. Do I know what?
Other languages besides French and Spanish?
French, Spanish. I understand a bit of Italian because my family has Italian heritage. That's
And last question, Reagan.
If you had the chance, like, would you come back and teach, like, at the middle school if you had the chance?
You mean, do I miss you all?
Yeah.
I want to know, I do love you all, and I do miss you. And I can't tell you, this is the honest truth. If they didn't let me come this year, I would have been brokenhearted because it meant a lot to see you because you were my students. And we shared a lot together. So you all meant very much to be able to be with you, yes. I probably won't because essentially I did leave teaching. I may do other things. I'm just not sure now. But you never know, maybe I'll come again if I have another book. I don't know, that's likely.
Thank you, Ms.